teacher versus student and give the students 2 points for that transition. That was amazing. Good morning, third graders.
Good morning, Miss F and Miss Sherman.
Good morning.
So today, we are going to be finishing our Brave Girl book. Okay? 2 points, my friend. Thank you so much. So, who could raise their hand and remind me where we left off? Where did we leave off? Noah, what was happening?
We had a union. And speakers were mostly men. And the union holds a meeting and foreign workers pack the seats, the aisles, walls, hall.
So the union held a meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. What else was happening? Bryce.
The biggest country, the country's biggest, the most powerful union leader in the country went up to the podium, but he didn't even have action.
So what does that mean? If he didn't pose action, what does that mean? Was he helpful?
Well,
Really? Cora, give me more. So they were talking about the union leader and how he was up there talking and he wasn't posing action. What does that mean if he's not posing action?
like he's not giving them the right to go.
Right? Or maybe somebody else want to add to it? James?
He's not doing anything about, he's just being a sitting duck and just doing a big speech about not doing anything.
Right. He's not really helping the situation, right? Or solving the problem. What was the problem at hand? You can tell me. What was the issue? Carter?
The men weren't letting the garden workers, I forgot.
Okay. You were right there. Rowan?
So they were having like a big strike on the street, and like the 4 bosses like fired all of them and hired men to beat like them.
Okay. Why were they striking though? What was the whole issue here? Rayhan?
Because girls are not equal to men.
Yes. How were they not equal to men? Willow?
Because, like, when they were working, they don't get paid as much. That's why they want to hire girls, because they don't need to pay them as much as they do boys, and girls don't get treated as equal as boys.
Exactly. So they don't get paid as much. What was another issue at the workplace? I think there was more issues. What was another issue, Carter?
That there were the bathrooms were filthy.
Bathrooms were
And
filthy.
And it was crowded.
It was very crowded too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Did we miss anything, Quinley?
They would get sent to jail just because they were striking
Yes.
and not doing what they were supposed to do, but they were actually standing up for what was right.
Yes, ma'am. Jalen?
If you bleed on the stuff, you'll get fined. If you do that again, you'll get fined.
Yes, that was a key part of what we read last time, huh? All right, friends, shall we keep reading? We have a lot to cover today, okay? So hands down, we'll talk about it in a sec. So we are on, I'm just gonna reread both of these pages, okay? Okay. So finger track as Miss F reads. We should be on the page where the union leaders are on the stage and she is in the crowd. All right. We must do something bigger. Think, Clara and other union leaders. Something huge. A giant strike at every garment factory in the city. The union holds a meeting. Throngs of workers pack the seats, the aisles, the walls, the hall thrums with excitement. Clara listens to speech after speech. The speakers, mostly men, want everyone to be careful. 2 hours pass. No one recommends a general strike. Finally, the most powerful union leader in the country goes up to the podium. Not even he proposes an action, so Clara does. Friends, what does the word propose mean? Not even he proposes action. Sam, what do you think it means, my friend?
Does action, but he doesn't do action.
Okay, when you're proposing something to someone, what would that mean? Bryce?
Proposing like what?
What does propose mean?
Like not doing anything, so there's probably standing up there like do something.
The actual action of proposing something. The sentence says, not even he proposes action. What does it mean to propose? Willow?
It means to solve the problem, not to just stand up there and not try to solve it. But
Okay.
it means to like
So, yeah.
do something about it.
Okay. So propose, friends, is like recommending something. Okay, everybody say recommend.
Recommend.
Good. Propose means to recommend. So when they say not even he proposes an action, he's not bringing anything to the table, right? He's not recommending any action to this bad situation. Does that make sense? Okay. Awesome. Oh, like for marriage. Yeah. All right, go ahead and turn the page, please. All right, finger tap as Miss Beth reads. That's right, Clara. She calls out from the front of the hall. The crowd lifts her to the stage, where she shouts in Yiddish. What is Yiddish? Then
It's a language. She says, Yunzar an tis sigar oi sivreg is zesh ner oh strike.
yeah.
No, she doesn't say that
Oh.
because
We don't blurt out. Thanks, Bryce. So she's speaking in a different language. Does that make sense? So why is she speaking in a different language? What's the vocab word we use at the beginning of the book? Quinn?
she's from a foreign country.
Yeah. And what do we call a person that travels to a different country from another country? Grace?
An immigrant.
You got it, girl. Good work. All right, let's keep reading. I have no further patience for talk. I move that we go on a general strike. And she starts the largest walkout of women workers in U.S. history. So friends, what does it mean to have patience? I have no further patience for talk. I move that we go on a general strike. What does patience mean? What does it mean to have patience? Jalen? You wait, right? Patiently. If you're patiently waiting, you have the ability to wait, right? Okay, everybody say patience.
Patience.
Good, good. Bryce, thank you for raising your hand,
On
buddy.
this one, on this page, she's not actually saying that Yiddish because there's the line connected all around the page. Yeah.
I think it's still pointing to her because she's up
That's
there
a
talking.
speech bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's turn the page. All right, finger check as Miss F reads, please. The next morning, New York City is stunned by the sight of thousands of young women streaming from the factories. One newspaper calls it an army. Others call it a revolt. It's a revolt of girls. for some are only 12 years old, and the rest are barely out of their teens. In the coming weeks, Clara is called a hero. She lights up chilly Union halls with her fiery pep talks. Her singing lifts the spirit of the picketers. When a group of thugs approaches, she yells, "Stand fast, girls." So what is a revolt? What does that word mean? What is a revolt? Tora?
A rebellion?
A rebellion, good. What else? Quinn?
Like kind of a big, large group of people.
Yup, okay. Tora?
An uprising?
Oh, you're nailing all the words. So an uprise, a rebellion. I have one more word. Finn?
An army.
An army could revolt, right? Quinley?
A boycott?
I was thinking rising. So everybody's standing up, standing together for what they believe in, for fighting for what they believe in. Does that make sense? So revolt means uprising, rebellion, and rising. Make sense? Okay, awesome. Let's turn the page. And they do. All winter long, in the bitter cold, in their cheap, thin coats, tired and starving and scared, the girls walk alongside the men on the icy sidewalks of the picket line. They spill out of the Union halls, blocking the roads, filling street corners and public squares. Newspapers write stories about them. College girls raise money for them. Rich women, swathed in fur coats, picket with the factory girls. By the time the strike is over, hundreds of bosses agree to their staff form unions. They shorten the work week and raise salaries. The strike emboldens thousands of women to walk out of garment factories in Philadelphia and Chicago. Friends, what is a picket line again? We talked about that last time we read. What is a picket line again? Does anybody remember? James?
A line of people like protesting or something?
Yeah. Where are the people standing? Are they just standing any old place? Where would they be like gathered around? Rowan?
Like a really popular place.
Okay. Or maybe the factory or the building that they're striking against, right? Does that make sense? They're making a line in front of it. Make sense, Reed? Okay. Go ahead and turn the page. And the strike convinces Clara to keep fighting for the rights of workers. Her throat is hoarse, her feet are sore, but she has helped thousands of people, proving that in America, wrongs can be righted. Warriors can wear skirts and blouses, and the bravest hearts may beat in girls only 5 feet tall. So friends, I have a few questions for you before we move on. Thank you. What did Clara call for a union general strike at the union meeting? Or why did she? I'm sorry. Why did Clara call for a general strike at the union meeting? Why was she striking? We have a quiz after this, so I hope everyone is participating. Nolan?
Because it wasn't fair, and she wanted to strike because people were fair.
Okay, and what wasn't fair?
The way the workers have to work.
Right. And so she called for a general strike. Why did she have to call for a general strike? Gab?
Because the men
Wasn't doing anything, right? She was losing her what? What was our vocab word? Audrey? She was losing her patience, right? Good, good. Okay, a true or false question.
Yes.
Clara started the largest walkout in history. True or false? Everyone.
True.
Good. Why is Clara named a hero? Why is Clara raised a hero?
So sorry, that was Miss Schumann.
You are just fine. Why is Clara named a hero, friends? Daniel.
Stood up for like thousands of girls.
Yes. Do you think that was scary what she did?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So if we turn the page to, let's see, where was she talking? This page right here. What evidence from the text tells us that she was a hero? What was she doing? What specific things was she doing? Is this one? What do we think? Sam?
Helping.
Helping? Okay.
She said she helped thousands of girls.
Yeah. How did she help them though? There's 3 things she was doing. They say specifically. Bryce, what's one?
She lights up chilly union halls with fiery pep talks. Her singing lifts the spirits of the picketers.
Oh, that's 2.
When a group of thugs approaches, she goes, she blocks the quarters of the street.
Okay. So 1, she has fiery pep talks, right? Okay. 2, she sings to encourage people, right? That's what it said in the text. Am I wrong? Okay. And 3, she just encourages the girls to stand together, right? Because is it very powerful if a few people stand up for this? No, they needed more people, right? Good. Okay. What happened because of the strikes? What happened because of the strikes? Rowan.
The money at the factories got lifted and the work hours got lowered.
Okay, so what do we say when we get more money from work? Quinn. So they, if they get paid more, how did the text word it? Nolan?
Their salaries got raised.
Their salaries got raised. Good. And their work week was shortened, right? Good. Good. What's the main idea, friends, of this whole book? What's the central message? We love talking about central message. What's the central message, Zach?
Stand up for what you believe in.
Absolutely. What else? There can always be more than one central message, right? Finn.
Help others when needed.
Okay, that's a great one. Noah.
Never give up.
Never give up. Okay. Sam.
Always be brave.
Always be brave. That's a great one. Quinn.
Try hard no matter what.
Yep. What about the whole purpose of Aspen? Put your hood off, please. Take your hood off. Okay. I want to see your pretty face. So why were we striking? What was the whole purpose of the striking? That's kind of a central message. Quinley?
Because girls were getting treated poorly back then, and guys got to get treated a little bit more fairly.
Right. So what would be the central message? Why would they want us to read a book about this? Carter?
Do you know what it was like back then?
Okay. Tora?
To show that everybody should be equal.
Yes. Everyone should be equal. Do we all agree with that?
Yes.
Absolutely, right? So Zach said stand up for what you believe in. And no matter your age, you are important. Aspen, Rayhan, please stop. Thank you. So no matter your age, you're important, right? They kind of took advantage of the young girls that were working for them, did they not? They did. So another central message would be that everyone is important no matter your age, right? Good. Okay, friends, so I want to read this more about the garment industry, okay? We're gonna read that page, and then you're gonna take 2 quizzes. So Aspen, you better be paying attention, my friend. All right, finger check as Miss F reads. Yep, it's the very last page, friends, with the big scissors. Okay. Between 1880 and 1920, 2 million Jews immigrated to America, fleeing persecution, pogroms, government-sanctioned attacks. That's what a pogrom is, okay? And poverty in Russia, Ukraine, Poland, and other parts of Eastern Europe. Many of these immigrants found work in the booming garment industry. In 1909, the year of the general strike, nearly 400 factories employing 40,000 people made blouses for half the country. Of these workers, 80% were female. 70% were between 16 and 25 years of age, and 65% were Russian, Eastern European Jewish. The remainder of workers were Italian and American. Many of the factory owners were Eastern European Jews who had worked their way up in the business. Abuses were rampant throughout the industry. Friends, what does rampant mean? Abuses were rampant throughout the industry. James.
It spread quickly and you couldn't stop.
Exactly, they're widespread, right? So if it says abuses were rampant throughout the industry, were they very common?
No.
Yes. Yes. Abuses were rampant. So abuses were widespread throughout the industry. So they were very common, right? Like we read about Clara. Okay, let's keep reading. Many bosses shaved time off lunch hours, set clocks back at the end of the day to fool the workers, made them work long hours, including illegal evening work for little money, forced them to pay for cloth soiled with blood or spilled food, and fired them at will. Some factories hired girls as young as 6 years old to cut threads for garments. At the beginning of the 1909 strike, police and judges sided with the affluent factory owners. 600 young women were arrested, and 13 girls, one as young as 12 years old, were sentenced to 5 days in the workhouse. Police brutality ceased only when members of the Women's Trade Union League, made up of wealthy and middle-class women, joined the picketers and held meetings to publicize their plight. What does plight mean? That one's kind of tricky. It says, let's see. Joined the picketers and held meetings to publicize their plight. So plight means dilemma, friends. So their problem. Does that make sense? So when the wealthy women finally joined, it started to change. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's read on. When the strike ended, 339 waist and dress manufacturing firms allowed workers to form unions, shorten their work week, and increase their hourly wages. Some companies refused to negotiate, notably the Triangle Waist Factory, where the following year, hazardous conditions led to a fire that claimed 146 lives. The tragedy raised public awareness even further about the evils of the garment industry. Clara Lemlich, then in her early 20s, investigated health and safety conditions in the garment district for the union. In the aftermath of the strike, thousands of workers in Philadelphia, as well as in Chicago, Cleveland, and Kalamazoo, struck for better working, or struck, so we're on strike, for better working conditions or campaigned for the right to organize unions. Along with Clara, fellow strikers Pauline Newman and Rose Schneiderman took on leadership roles in the labor movement. The progress made by the garment industry activists affected jobs throughout the country. Though there are still wrongs to be righted, today's workers have 5-day work weeks, overtime pay, and other protections due in great part to labor leaders like Clara Lemlich and the thousands of brave girls who picketed in the winter of 1909. Wow. So friends, why do you think they included this in the book, this little passage? Gab, what do you think?
To show what it was like at the factories.
Yeah. What else, Grace?
To actually know what happened and like what actually happened.
Yeah. They give us a more I'm not sure why we have side conversations this morning. It makes me sad. You guys have 2 quizzes on this, okay? So it just gives us more of a backstory, right? Kind of sets the tone of what we just read, okay? What is a synonym for affluent? What does affluent mean? And it says, at the beginning of the 1909 strike, police and judges sided with the affluent factory owners. What do you think? If someone owned a factory, what do you think? Do you think they would have a lot of money, or would they be really poor? Finn, what do you think? The affluent factory owners.
The really rich factory owners.
You got it.
They were like the rich factory owners, and they were only paying the women like $6 for a 10-hour day.
Yeah, super sad, huh?
9-hour days, still $6.
Yep, so affluent means that they're wealthy. They got a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome, awesome. A couple more questions and then I'm gonna excuse you to take your quizzes, okay? So what does it mean to publicize something? You've probably heard that word before. What does it mean to publicize something? Read.
Maybe like when an author writes a book or something.
You would publicize a book?
Company would publicize it, so it would be made over and over and over and sent out over the world.
Okay. Anybody have anything else to add? Want to give it a whirl? Publicize is to announce or broadcast something. So when you publicize something, you're kind of releasing it. Does that make sense? You're boosting it. Okay. Negotiate. When they're talking about negotiating, what does that mean? Quinley?
To agree with something.
Exactly. To make an agreement, right? So if they were negotiating wages, they were trying to all agree on something, right? To make everyone happy. Does that make sense? Okay. What is the opposite of hazardous? What's the opposite of hazardous? Noah?
Safety.
To be safe, right? What does hazardous mean? Grace?
It means like dangerous or not really safe.
Exactly. Dangerous or not safe, right? Exactly. All right. Think we can go ace those quizzes, friends? Awesome. I know we can. So we are going to take the last two. I think so. It's 20 through 29 and then 30 through 31. Okay. What would be our third job when we're done with those? What do we think would be our third job, Audrey? First rotation. Okay. So before I excuse you, for 2 points, student or teacher, see if we can get up with a zero voice and get logged in. Go. Alright, friends, we should be getting logged into those computers. Show me with your thumbs how we completed. 2 thumbs up. Amazing, amazing. 2 points for students.